Yo, what is up, you guys? It's the Michael Myers back again with another live stream, man. I know it's been a minute. Haven't been live in, I believe, since October. Right now that I checked, but yeah, man. I mean, happy Friday to all of you guys. Happy Friday to all the viewers, all the subscribers. Hope we were able to get a nice handful of you guys in here. Just wait for some people to join in real quick. But yeah, man, happy Friday to all of you guys. Hope you guys are having a dope Friday. My Friday is not too bad, just chilling. That's why I decided to go live tonight, or this afternoon, I should say, because I really don't got much going on other than just chilling at the house. So yeah, and like I said, it's been a while since I've been on here, so decided to check in with you guys, see what's up with, the algorithm or whatever they call it, but yeah, man, I mean, I decided to go live to this afternoon, tonight, wherever you guys are located at, because, the social media, outlets, the platforms have been, even on YouTube, I know I just uploaded a video like yesterday. So I've been on YouTube checking out the different kind of news we've been getting, and the main thing that attracted all of our attention as of recently, actually since yesterday, um, is the Scream 7 update. There's been Scream 7 updates here and there. I've been hearing stuff here and there, but actually haven't really. I decided to go live and do a Scream 7 update, give you guys my thoughts so far. When we get to a point where it's worth talking about it, like, I'm not going to go live, I'm not going to do a video every time we get a single little update. But I believe about a week or two ago, they just began filming. They just began filming Scream 7. But like I said, man, I waited till we get like a nice handful of information so we could just talk about it as a whole. And yeah, so of course, we've been getting a few updates ever since they started filming, which was like a week or two ago. Little updates here and there. Last week we got a update which got some people, talking about it, got the plot stirring up. Um, and that's, concerning the return of a few, characters that we've had in the past. I know Scream 7 has been a mess for a while now, man. I believe for like a year or two now, maybe. Ever since, a lot of changes have to be made with the Scream 7 script. The whole strike also had to do with it as well. The strikes from a few years ago, and a lot of changes have been made. We all been patiently waiting for to see what's gonna happen, an update at least. But like I said, now that they began filming a week or two ago, we are gonna get a lot more updates. We're gonna get a lot more hearsay when it comes to the Scream 7 production. So that's pretty cool. I mean, like I said, I know a lot of people are really, it's really a highly anticipated sequel for sure, especially since they're not really continuing from the previous Scream 6. So a lot of people are like really looking forward to see what's up, man. What's going to be the next step, the next move with this, I wouldn't say final entry. I don't want to call it a trilogy yet because you never know. They might come out with another one after this one. Especially with their new timeline or whatever they're doing. You can't really call it a trilogy at this point. Because I feel like Scream 7 is going to be kind of like a refresh start. Obviously, it's the third installment in this new, Scream franchise or whatever. But I mean, not really, because we have a few elements returning. It's not like it's a whole remake, but it's not the original intended movie they intended to make, and that's why it took a while for them to come out, for a while for them to get Scream 7 into development. Like I said, the whole strike, the whole you know stuff that was going around Scream 7, so they had to delay it here and there. um but yeah, man, I mean, we're gonna get straight into it. First, I want to talk. I know the big major news is about Matthew Lillard's character, Stu Macher, which I know a lot of us, we've talked about it on the channel, but now it's actually, like I said, since they began production already, it's more than speculation. It's more than you know. It's like confirmed now. It's officially confirmed now. Matthew Lillard is returning for to the Scream series. His first time returning, actually, since the original '96 film. And like I said, man, I mean, I've been hearing about this stuff about Matthew Lillard's character since like Scream 5. Or Scream, yeah, since like Scream 5, pretty much since they sprung off with this new Scream franchise. Matthew Lillard's name has always been in the mix, has always been right there. Even with Scream 6, a lot of people thought he was going to return for Scream 6. For some reason, and I really don't, personally, I don't understand it, but for some reason, a lot of people really believed, Stu Macher's character is going to be in the mix some way, somehow with this new, Scream series. Or this new Scream timeline ever since Scream 5. And like I said, I never understood it. To me, Stu Macher has always been dead since '96. But like I said, man, a lot of changes have been made. A lot of, like, the Scream 7 film we're getting, whenever it's coming out, I think it's already slated for like next year or something. But pretty much the original Scream 7 that was intended, we're not going to be getting. It's a whole new thing. Whatever they're doing, a new timeline. Like I said, a lot of stuff happened around, these new Scream movies, so they couldn't really give us that original version of Scream 7. Of course, Melissa's not returning, Jenna's not returning. I'm pretty sure they had bigger plans for the original Scream 7, which I would have loved to see. Me personally, I would have loved to seen the original intended Scream 7, because I felt it had a lot of potential, especially with those two girls, our main leads, Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega. I think that that timeline was already set. So, like I said, it sucks we're not getting that original intended movie, but that at this point, that it's not even worth talking about the whole Melissa Jenna thing, because that's been out the window since last year, whenever they were removed from the project. So, as much as I would have loved to seen their original intention, their original sequel they planned for Scream 7 with them, I would have loved to see. But like I said, a lot of stuff happened, so they had to go a new direction. Well, pretty much, like I said, since a week or two ago, they started production. Little by little, we started getting confirmation about who's going to be in the movie. I believe the first one that was confirmed, which is a no-brainer, without a doubt, of course, Courtney Cox. I believe Neve Campbell is also returning. I think she was announced since the beginning. Of course, man. Ever since our two stars, our two leads, were removed from the project. Of course, they had no other choice but to get Neve Campbell. They have to pay her whatever they wanted, whatever she was asking for. They had no other choice. But of course, Courtney Cox. Me personally, when I saw Scream 6, I thought she died. And it's funny because the first time I saw it in theaters, I thought she literally died. Like, Scream 7 was like a lot of stuff going on, or Scream 6 was a lot of stuff going on. I remember my first initial time watching it, I thought she died. Gail Weathers had died, but I guess she did it. She survived her attack in Scream 6. So of course she's returning. Like I said, she's a legacy character. Um, and then we got some returning cast as well, which is last I believe a few days ago or last week, it was announced that what's his name? I got a picture right here. Um, about a week or two ago, right after they started production, it was announced that what's the actor's name? Patrick Dempsey. He is he was originally supposed to play Sydney's husband, Mark from Scream 3. Of course, we got introduced to him in Scream 3. And I believe he was also mentioned in Scream 5, you know, when Sydney was talking to Dewey for the first time. So that was like a little theory. That was like a little, you know, it wasn't shown on camera or on film, but it was mentioned. The Mark character from Scream 3 was mentioned up. Eventually, you know, Sydney and Mark ended up together. Of course, their kind of connection was introduced in Scream 3. And like I said, when Sydney mentioned it in Scream 5, we all thought that the what was his name, Mark Kincaid, the detective or whatever he was in Scream 3. I believe me. If you ask me, that was their initial plan. Yes, they ended up together, but like I said, since a lot of stuff played out behind the scenes with Scream 7, it's not the original Scream 7 that was intended. Of course, they're gonna bring back all these characters from the franchise to make up for it, and because, like I said, they kicked our main stars out of the project, so they're trying to fascinate. They're trying to keep us happy, the fans happy. So they're gonna bring back returning characters. Our first returning character that was announced was Mark Kincaid, which was, you know, Sydney's husband. Ended up being with him. He's from Scream 3, but I believe it's gonna be a whole different character named Mark. It's not gonna be the exact what's his name? It's not gonna be Patrick Dempsey's character at all. That's what I believe was originally intended. They were originally intended for it to be Patrick Dempsey's character, Mark Kincaid, who Sydney ended up with. You know, by Scream 3, you guys know what I mean. If you guys seen the franchise, of course. But from reports, it says that they couldn't come to a negotiation agreement with Patrick Dempsey. He was asking for too much or something. I don't know if you guys could read that. You guys could probably pause it or screenshot it, whatever. But yeah, so they didn't really, you know, with Patrick Dempsey, they couldn't meet his budget he was asking for. So they decided to be cheap and scrap that and just make a whole new character named Mark, you know? Which to me, it sounded weird. Like I said, a lot of people were like kind of surprised about it about a week or two ago when this was announced. And to me, if you ask me, it is kind of weird because why would Sydney end up with another character, another whole different character named Mark when the obvious answer was Mark Kincaid? But like I said, it has to do with budgets. It has to do with shit behind the scenes. So it's not like I'm pretty sure they originally intended for it to be Mark Kincaid, the same character, but they just couldn't get Patrick Dempsey to return, you know? So that's understandable. I mean, I'm pretty sure they have a certain budget. So that was the first interesting stuff that popped up, you know? And then a couple days ago, we get news that, what's his name? I'm terrible with actors' names, guys. I apologize. I literally only know them by their name of their character name in the movie. I'm terrible. I even have to look it up. I took some screenshots as well. But Roman Bridger, you guys remember Roman Bridger from Scream 3? Which is the least fan favorite from the bunch. But Roman Bridger, his Scott Foley, which was kind of surprising. I mean, not surprising, but when I saw this article that it was announced, Obviously, me, like I said, I'm terrible with actors, their faces, their names. I'm terrible with them. So when I saw this, Scott Foley has joined the cast of Scream 7. I'm like, who? Like, but then of course, I looked into it because it was like this major news, right? I looked into it. Oh shit! It happens to be Roman Bridger. I think that was his name from Scream 3. So now we get another returning character from the franchise, Roman Bridger. Of course, I mean, did he die? I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen the Scream franchise. Like, Scream is one of those franchises when it comes to the sequels. I don't have it memorized yet. I really don't. Like, and the original, I have it like memorized already. You know, like I know what's going. Like all the other, like the Nightmare sequels, the Friday sequels, Halloween sequels, they're all, they're all like memorized in my head already because they're classics. You know, we love them, right? But to be honest, man, not the Scream sequels. Like, yeah, they're classic, most definitely. But I don't remember them by memory, other than the first one and the fourth one. Second and third one, I really gotta rewatch them, to be honest with you guys. But yeah, Roman Bridger is returning. He could have died. He honestly could have died. Like I said, I don't remember. If you guys recall, let me know, man. Let us know. Did Roman Bridger die in Scream 3? I think he did, though. I think he did. I'm sure he did. Which makes all this shit more interesting, right? Because now we're getting dead characters. And then a day or two after this was announced, we get the major news that everyone's talking about, right? The big news right now, the big Scream 7 update right now. The point of this video, Matthew Lillard's character was officially confirmed, announced to return. Hey man, like I said, for a while now, since Scream 5, we've been hearing, speculation here and there that his character might return. So, but now it's like officially confirmed. But the thing is, man, like, it's been 50-50. The responses have been 50-50 since the beginning. Since Scream 5, a lot of people wanted to see Stu Macher return. So this is like amazing news to those people who wanted him. But then there's the majority, I think, that thinks Stu Macher's been dead since '96, since the original film. That's how it's been for me. Even though that's how it's been for me and to a lot of us. Stu Macher's been dead. He's been out the picture, but his name was always swirling around this new timeline from the Scream franchise. So I was expecting for Stu Macher to be back in some way, in some fashion or another. He's gonna be up in here, and we still don't know exactly how he's returning. Which is that's why there's a question mark to it. Is Matthew Lillard really returning as Stu Macher for Scream 7? That's why there's a question mark. So definitely let me know what you guys think. What are your thoughts on it? I'll give you guys my thoughts right now. Yo, Pornstar, what's up, man? What up? Hope you guys are doing good, man. Glad to see all of you guys back on here. He loves horror. Yo, what's up, man? Personally, I'll be waiting. You know what? He loves horror. You're absolutely right, man. I understand that totally. Like I said, Scream 7, even with Scream 6, a lot of people say it's gone downhill. Me personally, Scream 6 was decent, but of course, man, I understand it as well especially like I said, since we're not getting that original intended movie, we're getting, we're getting, what do you call it? We're getting like revised versions of Scream 7, which it does suck. Like I said, they had to scrap their original plans. If you ask me, Scream 6 was okay, but I feel like they still had potential to end it on a, high note with Scream 7. But like I said, all the shit that went down, I just feel like it's not gonna be. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, me personally, it's not gonna be as good as, I mean, it's not gonna, yeah, it's not gonna be as good as the previous two we've got. I mean, 5 and 6 weren't that great. I still prefer the originals, you know, the original trilogy. I mean, the even 4 is good. I love 4, you know, but yeah, I don't think even though 5 and 6 were okay, not great, they were okay. I still think Scream 7's gonna it might be weaker than the previous two we've got. Personally, if you ask me, like I said, I know we're getting all these returning characters back, legacy characters back, which is great. Like I said, man, and I think that's what Scream has done a great job with is give, you could say, give the fans like like it's that's Scream has always had a connection to the original timeline. I know with other franchises, they change it up. Every sequel we get, they remake it all the time, right? But Scream has always been consistent. So I understand why they're bringing all these returning characters back. But I think it's going to be for one reason or another, which we'll get into right now. But He Loves Horror, yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you if you're going to wait for it to come to streaming. Like, I really don't, man. Because yeah, sometimes franchises get to that point, like there's no really a reason to actually go watch it, like you know, at the movies and stuff like that, at its premiere, right? When you know it's not gonna be what's intended, what was originally intended, you know, or what's expected, right? So it's totally understandable. Pornstar JR, you know what, man? I don't think the whole thing is gonna be a new timeline, but I think they're gonna, like, it's still gonna take place, same world, same time maybe as the previous two, but it's gonna focus on, you know, Sydney a little bit more than the previous two. So it's not gonna be, it's a different perspective, you know. These last two films were from what's her name, Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega's point of view, right? They were the stars, right? But since they're not in this new Scream movie, we're gonna focus on Sydney more, on her perspective, you know. So not necessarily like a remake. I think it's still gonna be like part of the this timeline, right? But it's not gonna, you know, it's gonna be from Sydney's eyes, I guess, you know. I think this might be the last one. You know what? He Loves Horror. I hope so. I really hope so, man. Because as much as we all love Courtney Cox, we love Sidney Prescott. I mean, Neve Campbell. We love the classic, iconic characters. I mean, I got Sidney. I don't know if you guys can see. Let me turn on the light. I got Sidney Prescott. I got Neve Campbell in the back of my. Hope you guys could see. In the back of my hoodie. She's an iconic final girl, man. Of course, she's an iconic final girl, right? We all love her, but I feel like I just don't want it to get overplayed and overdone. Like, for example, Jamie Lee Curtis with Halloween. Like, I think their timeline is up. Like I mentioned earlier, with Melissa's character and Jenna Ortega's character, it had great potential to continue. Like, they did a good job to start it out. Like, their new with Scream 5, they did a great job. Instead of, you know, doing that Halloween 2018 route, focusing on Sydney, they focused on these new characters, right? Sydney was more of a background character, you know. She wasn't a main character, which I think is what I liked about, you know, Scream 5 and Scream 6, this new Scream timeline. But now we're going back to square one. We're starting from scratch, pretty much, like. But like I said, it is what it is. Like you said, I really hope it might be the last one, you know, as far as this timeline. I hope they keep it a nice trilogy. I feel they might mention something that has to do with the Carpenters. You know, Sam and Jenna Ortega's character. They might mention something just to, you know, lay it flat, just to, you know, get it off the ground, right? But I think, yeah, Scream 7 should be a nice ending to Sidney Prescott. Obviously, there's going to be more after Scream 7, but I hope Scream 7 is the end and they wrap up Sidney and, Gail and all that. I hope it wraps it up, you know. I'm not saying I don't want it to be the Halloween Ends version of Scream, but just wrap it up. Just wrap it up because we for sure there's gonna be more movies after Scream 7. Either it's Scream 8 or a reboot, whatever they do. But I hope they're done with this because after that it's gonna get repetitive, just like Halloween did, all this shit, right? So I hope with Scream 7 it's a nice ending to that timeline. If you ask me. But yo, Jigsaw Rules. Hope they should have kept this new under wrap. Jigsaw Rules. You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that. Because I was gonna mention that too. Excuse me, guys. I've been a little sick for the past week or so. Bear with me. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Jigsaw Rules, and that was like my first thought when they announced this shit, right? Because either it's okay, we don't know. Like I said earlier, we don't know in what fashion form they're returning. Their character might be Stu Macher's character might be alive, or which is everyone's speculation, and which is my hope, is that Roman Bridger and Stu Macher, the dudes who have been officially confirmed for Scream 7, I hope they return in a flashback. Kind of like they're kind of comparing it to the situation they did with what's his name, Skeet Ulrich, I think that's his name, the dude who played Billy Loomis in the original. Of course, they had him in Scream 5, Scream 7. Where like what I remember thinking, like, what the heck? Don't tell me they're gonna keep him alive. But no, they just had him in there as a ghost, as a flashback, whatever. Which is what a lot of people are aiming for with this Stu Macher shit, with this Roman Bridger shit. They're aiming for it to be a flashback scene, and that's my hope. Because look, man, like I said, we talked about it plenty of times on the channel. Stu Macher, in my perspective, Stu Macher, they could change the timeline, whatever, but Stu Macher has officially been dead since the original '96. So, and like I said, since Scream 5, Stu Macher's name has been all up in the mix. So, the fact that they're confirming it was no surprise to me. If he is resurrected somehow, if he's still alive in this movie, in Scream 7, I'm not surprised at all. Because like I said, since Scream 5, Matthew Lillard's name, Stu Macher's name, has been all up in the mix since the beginning. So, some way, somehow, they're gonna involve that damn that damn Stu Macher character. Like I said, I hope it's flashbacks, man. I know a lot of you guys everyone's hope is that it's flashbacks instead of, like I said, we have those diehard fans, love Stu Macher, right? They have been attached to him since '96. So there are those fans as well that are like diehard, that are really they're hoping, man. They're holding to their last hope for Stu Macher to come alive, to be alive in Scream 7. Now, let me tell you my original thought. Like, you could say whatever their original intent, their original plot, whatever it was for Scream 7, I always thought, even with Jenna Ortega's character, Melissa's character, right? If they were still in the mix, I always thought that, Stu Macher was going to make a return. That there was always going to be that connection to Stu Macher with the killers we got from Scream 6. Like, the what's his name? I forgot his name. But the cop, right? The cop who ended up being the killer in Scream 6. And his kids, right? Ended up being the killers. Which was kind of weird, right? But I always thought they were somewhat related to Stu Macher. And for the third film, which is Scream 7, the third film in this new Scream timeline, we were going to get that reveal that Stu Macher was behind the whole bullshit, behind the Scream 6 shit and the Scream 5 shit. That was always my prediction. it could still play out like that, but maybe not with you know, Jenna's character, Melissa's character. But I really wouldn't be surprised. That's been my prediction since the beginning, man. That Stu Macher was the whole mastermind behind Scream 5, Scream 6. And then, of course, by the third film, their trilogy, whatever they had planned, Stu Macher was the mastermind of all that, right? And of course, by the third film, the final film, it reveals the whole shit, right? It blows the lid out the can, right? That was my original thought. Like I said, they still could go with that. But yeah, man, it's always been strange to me. It's always been strange to me. That's why either he returns or not, it's not going to be a surprise, because since Scream 5, I've been hearing Stu Macher's name. Stu Macher is returning for Scream 5, Scream 6. He never did. And well, if he's returning in the third film, Scream 7, you know, personally. But like I said, I'm still hoping they go the flashback route. That's what I prefer. I wouldn't mind getting a flashback here. I know a lot of people weren't a big fan of Billy Loomis' character being like a flashback, a ghost in the previous two. It was kind of weird, you know. It was great seeing him. He's a legacy character. He's the OG, right? He's the original killer, Billy Loomis. So it was dope seeing that, but it could have been just done once. It didn't have to be done twice, like in Scream 6, you know? So like I said, man, my point is, since they're not doing their original plans they have no other choice but to bring what the fans want, or some fans want. Stu Macher, right? They couldn't continue with that Melissa Barrera timeline, or that Melissa Barrera storyline, Jenna Ortega storyline. So what do they got left? Okay, so they're out I feel this is how they're looking at it. Okay, they're out the picture. What do we got left? We got Sydney. Of course, they know Sydney can't carry the whole movie. Like I said, as much as we love Neve Campbell and all that, she wouldn't be able to do it with Courtney Cox, if you ask me. So I feel that's why they're going back to scratch. You know, that's why they're bringing. Maybe Stu Macher wasn't originally intended, but now they have to bring him back because they have. What else can they work with? You know. So that's what I personally think. You know, but yeah, man, it's funny. It's funny. You know. It's strange. Like I said, this thing is all over the place. Like I said, I think Scream 7 is gonna be the weakest from this new trilogy, but we'll see what's up, man. Yeah, Jigsaw rules. You're right. Yeah, that's the absolute case with the whole Patrick Dempsey thing. I know his career has sprung off ever since then, so of course, man, he has the right to. You know, we're not knocking him, you know, even though his character is beloved and is, you know, well respected, you know, he's a fan favorite, most definitely. And like I said, it was only right. You know, I believe when in Scream 5, when Sydney mentioned Mark, we know for sure it was him. But like I said, it had to do with behind the scenes stuff. And like I said, Patrick Dempsey, he has the right to it, you know, because of course, like I said, it's a fan favorite. His career has grown since then, so just pay the man what he wants, you know, he's deserved, right? Especially since, you know, I'm pretty sure he was intended to be a main character. Like I said, without Melissa and Jenna, what do you got? You know, so that I feel that's the whole. I think that's the reason and the motivation behind all the returning characters, is, you know, they have to do something that might work. Like it'll be a risk if they were to start from scratch in the third installment. We all know every trilogy, every third film in each series is like the weakest one. So obviously with the third film they want to go out with the bang. You know, it might work. It could work, but you know, they don't want to take that risk. Roman is a flashback in my prediction. Jigsaw rules, I hope so. I hope Stu Macher as well, man. Like I said, I know the news is major. The news is big. Like if he was, like right away, instant, everyone, when we saw that confirmation that Matthew Lillard's returning, obviously the main thought that came to our minds is that he's alive. But like I said, the confirmation of him returning could just be a simple, flashback, which I hope it is, man. I really hope it is. I just hope, because it just wouldn't make sense. I just think it would just ruin the whole premise of whatever we've gotten. You know what I mean? Even though Scream 5 and Scream 6 weren't that great, but it's still gonna ruin the whole thing, because to a lot of us he's been dead. So that's my whole thing, man. That's my point. I hope it's a flashback, um, or something. Same with Roman Bridger. Like imagine if they were to come back from the dead, right? And they're the killers of this movie. Oh, what a big surprise, right? You know what I mean? And like you said, Jigsaw Rule. If that's the point, if that's the point of this Scream 7, why would they announce it right now, right? That's my whole thing too. So it could be a flashback. Hopefully, man. 80% out of 100, it's a flashback. I hope so, man. Yeah, porn star. It's getting ridiculous. The more shit we throw on here, the more shit, it gets more repetitive and more ridiculous. So that's why I feel, that's why, I thought, it's gonna be the weakest one from the bunch. But we'll have to see what's up. Gavin the Ghoster, I will sub to you for sure, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, man. Halloween ends, man. Hey, man. I haven't visited since then, man. And you know what? Something's telling me Scream 7 is gonna be the Halloween ends. Trust me. Remember, mark my word. As much as we're praying for it, as much as we're hoping it's not, I hope it's not, man. Gavin the Ghoster, yo, look. Yeah, just another spammer, yeah. Gavin the Ghoster, you got 500 for me, man? Hey, shoot it this way, man. Shoot it this way. It's all good. You're so easy to throw, amounts out there. Hey, man, shoot it this way. You know? But I mean, nah, I know it's just a spammer, you know. But yeah, man. I mean, that's my whole thing. That's my whole thing. Scream 7. I've been wanting to talk about it, but I just didn't want to, now that, the whole Matthew Lillard situation was confirmed, I felt it was worth making a live stream or like, talk about it, because that's just my thoughts on it. Like if he's alive, like let's say by the end of the movie he comes out of nowhere, he pops out of a bush, surprise, oh, I'm alive, I'm the killer. Like what was the whole, suspense about? What was the whole hype about then, So like Jigsaw Rule said, it's too early. It's too if they really, you never know. You really never know. Like he could be confirmed now and he ends up being the mastermind behind this shit, but like I said, we all saw it coming. So I hope by them announcing Matthew Lillard early is a good sign. I hope it's a good sign that it's just a flashback. But give me just a quick second, guys. I'll be right back. Gotta use the restroom. Hold up. Quick, I'll be back. All right, I'm back. But yeah, man, it's really weird. It's strange. It's like, I just think it's we just gotta wait. We just gotta wait to see what happens, what's gonna go down. Like I said, even Matthew. I think even Matthew Lillard. He even himself. He's been quiet about it. Um, I know like fans are always asking him. I think since like Scream 6, like if he has somewhat an involvement. He's always been, real, quiet about it. Because like I said, I feel like it's always been in the plans. I think it's always been that whole, Stu Macher returning has always been in the back of their heads. Um, that's why I feel, it's all been speculation. Like I said, that's why everyone's like going crazy right now, right? Because it's officially confirmed that he's returning. Beforehand, it was just speculation. So, we're gonna have to see what's up. Like I said, me personally, I hope it's a flashback. I hope he doesn't turn out to be alive because it's just gonna ruin the whole thing. Me personally, and I love Stu Macher, man. He's the OG right next to Billy Loomis. Matthew Lillard, man. He's been in a lot of great shit. Uh, but I hope he stays dead. I hope he stays dead. Um, as much as some people feel his return could save the franchise or whatever. I don't think it can. It's either gonna make it or it's gonna break it. You know what I mean? Um, because yeah, like I said, they could do this spectacular ass shit. They try to be slick on how he returns. It could have saved the whole thing, but or it's a make or break situation. Um, but yeah, that's my personal opinion. I feel Scream 7 is not gonna be, and I hate talking like this too because we always have hope for all this. We always have hope. It's not like we want to see a movie fail, right? Hell no, we don't want to see a movie do bad, a movie fail, especially a beloved sequel from a beloved franchise. We don't want to see Scream 7 do bad, not at all. But sometimes a lot of these directors' choices, a lot of these writers' choices just fucks it up. And like I said, this whole Stu Macher shit, it's either gonna make it or break it. So I don't know. That's just what I think. Like I said, I love Stu Macher. He's the OG man with Billy Loomis. Like I said, even with the whole Billy Loomis situation in Scream 5 and 6, by him having the ghost in there trying to like, motivate Samantha, Samantha sees like his ghost or whatever. I know that's her dad. But I just felt like it could have been done once and briefly. That's it. They can't be overdoing it because that's what just makes it like, played out. If you ask me. But it was dope seeing Ski Outridge in the previous two because like I said, man, he's the OG. But like once you do it like more than once, it gets kind of played out. And like I said, I hope with the Stu Macher stuff, it's the same case. I hope it's just done nicely and briefly. That's all we need. Like I said, I know with a lot of these franchises, ever since like Halloween 2018, a lot of these new movies, a lot of these remakes, whatever they're doing, they always try to have that connection to the original. And I know it worked for Halloween. It worked for, what else did it work for? It worked. It worked for one or two, but it's not gonna work for every franchise, man. So that's my thing. That's why I think they should stop with the whole direct sequel trend because that's what they were doing. Look at the Texas Chainsaw. They tried to do that. It failed. With Scream, it kind of saved it, or not saved it, but it worked. It worked decent enough with Scream 5. They were able to keep that, connection, right? It wasn't the same shit as, like I said, our legacy character Sydney was not, traumatized all these years, and then like in 2020 or whenever Scream 5 came out, she like Ghostface returns to her. No, she was a backup character. We were introduced to new characters. So, and like I said, it might have worked for one or two films, one or two franchises, but it's not gonna work for all. And that's the main worry. That's my main worry with a lot of these franchises that have the possibility of returning, like Nightmare. I heard they might take that route, which I hope not. Because as much as I wanna see, Heather Langenkamp return as Nancy Thompson. Uh, 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 it's gonna make it or break it, and that's why, like I said, it might have worked for Halloween or whatever, but it's not gonna work for every franchise. So, like I said, the whole returning legacy character has its in and outs. It has its up and downs. Uh, yeah. So who knows, man? Who knows? Like I said, the whole that's how I look at it. The whole Stu Macher thing is it's either gonna make it or break it. My theory is Leslie Macher is the Ghostface. Everything lines up in my mind. Yo, Coop. Leslie Macher, is that supposed to be like his sister or something? Leslie Macher. Um, who knows, man? You could be right. You know what? No matter what it was, like me personally, I still feel the killers from Scream 6 are somewhat related to Stu Macher, family wise, bloodline wise. Like I feel like this whole killer shit, stab shit, whatever, it goes back to it. Like maybe the original intent was that it was Billy Loomis. I remember also a lot of people thinking, man, that for Scream 7, I know, by the end of Scream 6, Melissa Barrera's character, she ended up, like they teased that. They glimpsed that. They gave us a glimpse of that she might end up, the killer in the next one. Or not exactly the killer, but she's going to end up evil, right? Like her father did, Billy Loomis. I mean, the whole killer shit runs in the bloodline, right? They kind of teased that by the end of Scream 6 with Melissa's character. Um, but like I said, man, I think the whole Billy Loomis thing is out the window simply because Melissa's out the project, out the window as well. So what else? Like I said, what else do they have left to work with other than the whole Stu Macher shit? Like I said, the killers from Scream 6, I knew right away, man. They're somewhat related to Stu Macher. Just watch. Something like that's gonna play out. Either it's gonna be Stu Macher, Leslie Macher, his sister, whatever. It's all gonna be all up in the mix. Like I said, man, since Scream 5, Stu Macher's character has been all up in the mix and he's always been involved with this new franchise, even though you know, we've all knew he's been dead, but something's gonna happen, man. And I heard, the whole Stu Macher shit is gonna be a flashback with Randy, which is okay. Like I said, flashbacks could be good or bad. Like for example, Halloween Kills, which could probably be the best scene in Halloween Kills, which is the 78 flashback. I was expecting a lot more, to be honest. Like it could have been better, but that was probably the best scene. Like flashbacks are either make or break. So I even heard, man, Stu Macher's return could possibly have to do with the flashback with Randy Meek's character. And you know what's crazy? They also confirmed Randy Meek's his relatives are back in this movie, which dude, I don't get it. What I forget their names. The twins, right? The twins from the previous two, they're back in this freaking movie. Like to me, they should have been dead. They should have been dead since like Scream 5, you know. But like I said, man, they don't really like whatever point they got to, they don't got much. So I feel like they're trying their best to try to save it, But yeah, I hope those twins are dead for sure now, man. In Scream 7, because hey, it like we all love Randy. Of course, they have him in there for that connection, right? But still, like I don't know, man. It's just been like it just got too playful. I mean, the Scream series has always been like that. Compared to other franchises, the Scream has always been more gimmicky, more playful, more all this, right? But I think with Scream 6, I would say because Scream 5 was solid. I think Scream 5 was okay, but Scream 6 it was a little bit more like gimmicky, you know, and I feel like that's their whole route they might go with. You know, who knows? Like I said, we're not gonna know their original plans for Scream 7. Maybe after some years, you know, that's what they always do. You know, they always like release the script or whatever they had prior to you know, the official release. But I don't know, man. I just hope it not save the franchise, but I hope it wraps it up. Hope it wraps it up. Maybe in the next 5-10 years they make another timeline. Cool, we'll worry about that then, right? But I hope Scream 7, man, is just a nice wrap up, man. It's just a nice wrap up because I think it's time. You know, like I said, if you ask me, they should have just wrapped it up with Scream 6. Make it a double feature, and hey, wait a few years and remake it or whatever they do, right? But of course, man, Scream is this high anticipated franchise. Makes a lot of money, right? Makes a lot of bank. They can't let Scream 7 just die like that, you know. So they're gonna do whatever they can to save it, you know. But like I said, a lot of this shit is not surprising. You know, I kind of saw it coming. Like I said, Scream has been the only like franchise that's been consistent when it comes to like bringing back legacy characters. So it is what it is, you know. But like I said, man, I feel like it's either gonna make it or break it. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, you see, yeah, you're right, porn star. Yeah, that you see, that's a perfect example, man. Leatherface, Texas, the latest Texas Chainsaw from Netflix, terrible prequel, man. That was like a total ripoff of 2018. So I just hope we leave that behind us. You know, I hope directors, screenwriters, or whatever, they kind of see through that and just leave that in the past, because that, like I said, that might have worked for a franchise or two, but it's not gonna work with everyone. So, and you know, now more time is going on. We're in 2025, man. That's crazy, man. Like, it's crazy. Like if you really think about it, man, it's about to be 10 years since the new trend of horror came. And I'm talking about like with the It remake, it worked really well. So everyone started remaking their franchises, right? Halloween 2018, the whole direct sequel shit. I mean, the first one was Texas Chainsaw 3D. So I think it's evolution. It's evolution, and I hope that's what we get. Don't get me wrong, we've been getting a lot of good movies, man, as of lately. I mean, I haven't seen a lot from last year, but last year, man, we got a lot of good ones. Nosferatu, man, I saw that like on New Year's or something. Great way to end 2024, man. Nosferatu. I've been trying to do a movie review to that. Definitely got to do it, man. I recommend it. You definitely gotta have patience with it. It's not like which is, you could say, what I appreciate about the new Nosferatu film is that it's not your cheap gimmicky horror film of nowadays. You know, it's like kind of slow paced in the beginning. It's worth the watch. Maybe to a lot of hardcore Nosferatu fans, it might have not been it. But me personally, I'm not like the hugest fan. I love the original Nosferatu, classic film. That's like a masterpiece, man. Like, that's the beginning of the beginning, you know? So I respect it for what it is. But I'm not like the hugest fan, right? So I could like, if I'm personally attached to something like Halloween or Nightmare, right? And they come out, their new remakes, I'm gonna take personal, right? We're all gonna take it personal. We're all gonna hate it, right? We're all gonna try to downgrade it because we're so emotionally, personally attached to it. But to films that we're not like, me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the original Nosferatu. Like, I never saw that as a kid. Like, I don't have that personal attachment to it, so I could accept the remake. It's like the second remake they've done. I know they did one in the 70s as well, which I heard is pretty good. I gotta do that. I'm gonna dive into that remake, man, from the 70s or 80s, and I gotta review those Nosferatu films. But I really want to do a live stream or a movie review on the latest one, man. I thought it was solid, man. I know, like I said, the substance, which I I can't wait. I know it just came out on Blu-ray, on DVD. Definitely gonna try to get that as soon as I can, man. Really good film. So I feel like it there's a lot of good movies out there that are still coming out. But like I said, sometimes as much as we love a lot of this stuff, old stuff, classic stuff, sometimes we just gotta let it be, and only time will tell. Like only like a lot of those classic films, man. Like they stand the test of time. So there's no need to rehash, you know, retell it. You know, even though that's been a part of cinema since the beginning. You know, a lot of classic films from the 60s, 70s, 80s were remakes of silent films. But still, man, I feel like we just gotta see what's up, man. It's just it's just a make or break situation. And you know what, guys? It's crazy. I know they're coming out with a new movie. What's it called? Hard Eyes. I get it. I mean, I get it. You know, there's still that underground slasher genre that's popping. Like, for example, Thanksgiving. That was a slasher film, right? It was a major release. A lot of people liked it. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but a lot of people did like it, and I think it's getting a sequel now. Terrifier has to do with a lot of that as well. Terrifier has grown to the masses with Terrifier 3. It's like mainstream now. I remember when the first one was like underground. Like, I didn't hear about Terrifier until like 2 years later, you know? So so a lot of those films, Thanksgiving, Terrifier, a lot of those films that are given to us by the mainstream, they have paved the way for a lot of, you could say, modern upcoming slasher movies. In a Violent Nature, which I still haven't seen, but I heard it's okay. I don't know. But recently, we're getting a new movie called Hard Eye. It's like a new slasher movie, right? I saw the commercial, the trailer came out. I was on YouTube, you know. The commercial came on, and I'm like, okay, not surprised. I mean, they usually do that. I mean, it's a Valentine's slasher movie, so they're going with the trend. Holidays, you know, that's what you know. They know they're gonna get people in their movie, in their theater, when you have a certain holiday or slasher, uh it's just gimmicky. But you know what, my first thought when I saw that, I know a lot of people, I think no, it hasn't come out yet. I think it comes out this week. I might see it. I don't think so. You know what I'm gonna go see on, I think it's this Wednesday or Thursday. I'm gonna go see Hellraiser for the, what is it, 50th anniversary, 40th anniversary. Yep, Hellraiser. Go check out, go look it up on your Google, man. A lot of Hellraiser's gonna be playing. They're gonna be doing they're gonna be screening it, man. I'm gonna go check that out. They're like the theater down the street from me. Um, it's playing it, which is great, man. It's playing it for like 2 nights. I'm going. The original Hellraiser, I'm going. Um, I think it's like the February 3rd or something like that. Yeah, 3rd and the 4th. They're playing the original Hellraiser. Definitely go look that up, man. If you're a big fan, right, of the original Hellraiser. I love Hellraiser, man. I love the first two. Not the biggest fan of the whole franchise, but that original, man, I can't miss that. I gotta go watch that in the theater. I mean, so far, I've watched a lot of my favorite horror films on the big screen. The Exorcist for the 50th anniversary, and Halloween. The original Halloween, right? So Hellraiser, I can't miss it. That's what I'm looking forward to, honestly. But they really still had a. Oh, really? You know what? I think I might have missed that. You know what? Yeah, I think they did. They mentioned a lot of shit in Scream 5. You know, I know they, like I said, they had Randy's family up in the mix. They could have mentioned something about Stu. They also kind of teased something that he might be alive, like on that computer screen. Uh, but yeah, man. Vance was his nephew, and in the whole meetup thing, they revealed his mom was Stu's sister. Okay, okay. Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's all been in the mix. It's all been it's all been there, man. So like I said, a lot of this shit is not surprising. Um, but yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. What I hope, like I said, I hope it plays out good, man. I hope it plays out good. I hope they're smart and they're slick. They're slick with their screenplay because yeah, like as much as much as they want to dedicate the movie to the fans or whatever, bringing back legacy characters not gonna save your film. It's not gonna save it. It's gonna make it or break it. Um, but yeah, that's just what I think. But yeah, you're right though. You're right. Coop. Yeah, man. They teased a lot of shit with the previous two films. Like I said, with the Scream series, they've always been consistent to try to have that connection, which is grateful. They could have remade this shit like 10 years ago or some shit. You know. No lie, when I was seeing you wasn't going on, I was thinking you probably watch Halloween Ends again. Oh hell no, man! Oh, of course not. Of course not. Not at all, man. It's crazy. Yeah, man. I just can't go through it. I just really can't, man. Like, I know. I've seen glimpses of like Halloween Kills, but because it plays on the cable, right, on TV. But Halloween Ends, dude, that movie's been forgotten. Like, I don't see people talk. Like, it's a disgrace, man. It's a disgrace. Like, I'm glad people are not talking about it. Like, even to this day, dude, you hear people talking about Rob Zombie's Halloween films, at least. They might not be the greatest, right? But you still hear the little chit chat going around. But man, when it comes to Halloween Ends, nope, that movie disappeared. It vanished, dude. It vanished from this little bubble, right? From the whole, what do you call it? Algorithm, right? Like, and I'm glad, dude, because dude, that's a damn shame ass movie. I will never forgive. Hashtag David Gordon Green ruined Halloween. Yeah, man, because it's a disgrace, dude. And dude, what has David Gordon Green done since then? I'm wondering. Nothing, right? I don't know. I got no clue. He probably went back to comedy, but I know for damn sure he's done, remaking, especially also after Exorcist Believer, which I still haven't seen, right? Yeah, man, it's a shame, dude. Like I don't get like it's because it's a whole like I feel like once you're in the industry, you don't think about like everything's blanked out. Of course, all you see is money signs. So that's why we get a lot of these soulless ass films, a lot of these booty ass films. For the same reason, man, that they're all in it for the money grab. And like I said, the whole Halloween End shit, the whole Blumhouse Halloween, I will say, was a perfect example of that. Money grab and all that shit. I mean, 2018, it's not great. It's not great, but it was. I mean, the only thing I like about 2018 is that I think it's only good as a first time watching. Once you see it more, you dislike it more. That's how I look at it. Like. But I feel like that first watch is always good, is always okay, because we haven't seen at that time we haven't seen Myers in damn 10 years, So that's how I look at it. Jigsaw Rules 2018 had so much hype. Yeah, man, it did. It did, and like I said, for the same reason that it's been a while since we seen Michael, so that hype's always gonna be there, dude. Even me, dude, I was like hyped for it. 2018 was not what I expected at all. Was not what I expected at all. Halloween Kills kind of made up for it. Only that flashback scene, but that's it. Other than that, 2018, like the flashback scene is the only thing I was excited for 2018. But we didn't get that till Halloween Kills. So, I don't know. I just see it as a money grab. With this new Scream stuff, I don't see it as a money grab. It could be. It could be exactly that. But I feel like and you know what? It sucks too as well, because the original screenwriters for 5 and 6 are not returning for 7. So, that's why I feel the Scream 7 is going to be the weak one. It's going to be the weak one. Because it's not... Like, they did a solid job. Scream 5 and Scream 6 are better than the whole Blumhouse Halloween, for sure. So they were not the greatest, but they had potential, dude. I'm telling you, especially with Melissa's character. I loved her character, man. I loved her more. I know everyone loved Jenna Ortega's character, but me personally, I think Melissa carried on those films more than Jenna. I know because Jenna's the bigger star, right? But Melissa carried on those movies. Like if Jenna was alone, she I don't think she could have done it. Uh, but yeah, like I don't know. It's just weird. It's just really weird. But all I'm saying, man, don't expect Scream 7 to be like this great grand finale or whatever they're doing. This great next entry, if they continue to do more after. But I don't know, man. Like I said, it's a make or break situation for me. Yeah, porn star. Yeah, I agree because the first time it's like whatever's right. Like you expect so much. Like me too. I had to watch it like a few more times after the first watch. Like the first watch, it was like I really didn't know what to think. I had to watch it a few times to really get my thoughts together. But of course, once you get to that second and third watch, it's like you realize all the shit. You realize it all. You know, the first watch, it's like, oh, you're just sunking it in. You're just, you know, it's all getting engraved, right? And you're like, there's a question mark there. And then the second and third watch, you know, you do pick out more from it, for sure. Second or third watch, you pick out more from it, but you just start realizing it more. That's why I really don't like to revisit those Blumhouse films, because the more I watch them, the more I dislike them. Like I said, with Halloween Kills, they started recently playing on cable, on TV. I watch bits and pieces in there, but I really can't sit there and watch the whole thing. I just can't. I just really can't. Like, I literally, in commercials, I'm up and about doing something else, you know? Because I just can't sit through that. I could sit through Rob Zombie's Halloween because, hey, that's my era. 2000s, that's my era. Like, a lot of shit. There's a lot of shitty films. You know, Bride of Chucky, you know, a lot that we're okay with actually sitting there and just like bullshitting, right? But it's just, I think it's just a time thing, man. Like it's just crazy. It's whatever, you know. And like I said, I think with Scream 7, you know, since you know what I heard, guys? I heard with this new Scream franchise, we've gained a lot more fans. Like a lot of people go. The reason the new Scream films were successful is because we have like heavyweights in the mix, like Jenna Ortega. I remember seeing like there's like a certain percentage of the audience that simply went to go see these new Scream movies because of Jenna Ortega's star power, and that's that's like new introductions to some new fans, you know. And I think that's the case. I think that's the case with Scream, especially. Like I said, Scream is like a, like I've seen, you know, Scream is, I feel like with modern people. That sounds like weird, modern people, but with like I see more Scream fans regularly than Halloween fans, Nightmare fans, you know. But I think it all has to do with that. I think Scream is like the mainstream gimmicky franchise, you know, and it's been working since '96. It's been working. '96, right? In '96, Scream, it brought back the slasher genre back to life, you know, like, and by the '90s, man, the slasher genre was going downhill. The whole horror slasher genre until Scream 6 came out. I mean, Scream 1996 came out. That, like, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of audience, you know, were introduced to Scream and they went back and looked at a lot of the classic slashers from the 80s. Same thing with 5 and 6, introduced, you know, new audience, which is a good thing, you know, getting you know, new fans introduced to it. But that's just how I look at it, you know, when it comes to slasher movies. They might not be as successful as they once were, but we still get them here and there. Like I said, Heart Eyes is a new slasher movie coming out. Valentine slasher. Dude, oh my god, nah, I'm not. But yeah, like it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah, for sure, porn star. Yeah, yeah. I think Rob Zombie's Halloween is a good example, dude. I remember, I really did not like Rob Zombie's Halloween, dude. But those films are films. To me, it's the opposite. You know how a lot of these films, the more we watch them, the more we hate them, the more we dislike them. Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloweens are like the opposite, dude. Like the more I watch them, the more I like them. Like, not that I like them, but it's just that's like my era. That's our era. That's just it's that attachment. Like as much as I dislike Michael's backstory and that whole dumb shit in the first half of the movie, all that dumbass shit they did for Halloween 2, the White Horse, Angel Myers, all this shit. It's dumb. It's stupid. But hey, man, like just the whole vibe, man. The whole vibe is just there still. Like there's no like there's at least there's soul to that, right? As much as crappy you could call Rob Zombie's Halloween, there's still soul there. Like there's still like that attachment. These Blumhouse movies are soulless, man. They're soulless. They really are. Like they're just there for a quick, kill, a quick, quick stabby stab here and there. There goes your movie. But yeah, man, it's crazy. Rob Zombie's Halloween was brutal. Things are too watered down today or gimmicky like Terrifier. Yeah, man. Like I said, man, Terrifier is a perfect example of it. Terrifier, you could call it as gory as you want. Hell yeah, those movies are gory. I still haven't seen Terrifier 3. I have it on Blu-ray. I still haven't seen it. Terrifier 3 did not catch my interest at all, guys. I'm going to just be honest. And as much as there's a lot of classic horror Christmas movies, I really did not go see it. I wasn't thrilled to go see it at the theater. Because, look, I know, like I said, dude, I think Damien Leone just announced Terrifier 4 as well. I think he's already working on the script. I think he said, I hate when franchises get like this. Terrifier 4 is going to focus on Art the Clown's backstory. Is going to be an emotional backstory, an emotional origin story. Like, what the heck, man? What's the point of these? I get it. Terrifier is different. Terrifier is different. Like I said, they've been gimmicky since you could say the first one, but yeah, honestly, Terrifier, I'm not the huge. I was a fan of the first one. Even the second one's cool. I love Lauren Lavera. She's bomb. Like she kills it. In the second one, I haven't seen the third one. I'm mostly looking forward to Terrifier 3 for Lauren Lavera, but she's dope. She outshined the first final girl from Terrifier 1, so she got the bomb. But hey, man, but I'm talking about as far as a movie wise, like they're just not for me. Terrifier 2 was way too long for the kind of movie it is. Like I said, Terrifier 3 might be a whole different thing, but it's just the hype is too big. The hype is too big for what it is, for the simple shit that it is, right? But I noticed with Terrifier, the more hype, the biggest hype that's there is the bloody shit, the gory shit. That's the whole point of Terrifier, especially after Terrifier 2. Like you don't want to go watch Terrifier for a good storyline. You want to go in there to see some guts being, bloody gore, all this shit. That's the whole point of it at this point, If you ask me personally, no disrespect. I know Terrifier has grown a big fan base, man. Since Terrifier 2, Terrifier 2 had a bigger release, but Terrifier 3 really like blew the lid off the can. It's like, so like Terrifier 3 had a regular release, really, like it really did, like. Terrifier, like the first Terrifier was straight to DVD, straight to streaming. It's an underground movie. It's a low budget movie. I didn't hear about it until 2 years later. So the fan base was growing. Terrifier 2 was only selected theaters. It wasn't playing in every theater because it was still that underground. But it was really successful with Terrifier 3. Terrifier 3 is everywhere. By the time Terrifier 3 came out, every theater was playing it. It's everywhere. They had popcorn buckets, all this shit. Hey, man. Even the Halloween stores in October, man. You got Terrifier costumes. You got Terrifier, like, fake tattoos. You got Terrifier plushies. You got all this shit. So it did its job. It's the I don't think Art the Clown is up with Myers, Freddy, and Jason, and Leatherface and Ghostface. No, not at all. But it's still it's reached the mainstream level already. You know. But it's still not my cup of tea, if you ask me. I rather watch it the original. I know the original still doesn't hold up as much as great, especially like I don't get it. I've seen a lot of people say, Stephen King's original It miniseries, like the more time goes on, the more crappy it is. I don't care. It's still a good film. It's still a good flick to me. Better than the remake, that's for sure. No offense to Jigsaw. Hey man, Jigsaw. You know what? I heard Saw 11 might not even happen. Hey man, Saw. This complicated ass timeline, this complicated ass story, but I love Saw, dude. I love it. I really do, man. I really do. And it's not like a trilogy. Saw is like on their 10th film. Even the latest one, Saw 10, I liked. It was okay enough for me. I love Saw, but like I said, I think it has to do with that timeline attachment because Saw was all throughout the 2000s. That's when I was being raised. That's when I was a kid. I witnessed, every Halloween from 2004 to 2010. A Saw sequel was coming out every damn year, so that attachment is there. As much as shitty as the sequels are after Saw 3, something about it, dude. I like. I could sit there. I could sit there and watch it. Maybe not 4 or 5. Maybe not 4 and 5, but majority of them. I don't know. It's just a timeline thing, and that's why I don't. It could be the same situation with Terrifier. Oh hell yeah, we got a lot of. I best believe there's a lot of new horror fans that started liking horror, that were introduced to horror because of Terrifier. So I can't knock people. If you love Terrifier, I can't knock you because it's just a time thing. Like Terrifier is this new generation, right? Maybe fans from this new generation were introduced and started loving horror because of those Terrifier movies. So I can't knock you. Same thing with me. A lot of those 2000 films like Saw, like the Rob Zombie Halloweens, a lot of those, Platinum Dooms remakes, like as crappy as they could be, man, they're always going to be that attachment, as crappy as they are. So I just think it has to do with a timeline thing. It just has to do with it's a personal preference. Like either you got into horror, the way how you were introduced to horror, you're always gonna identify and connect to those films that got you into the genre, right? So for a start, you are probably right. You know what, Jigsaw Rules, as much as the sequels could get shittier, I wouldn't mind a Saw 11. Like I said, they've been working on it. It was supposed to come out since last year, I think. I still want to check it out, But if they do, I hope they do something new. Because, yeah, I think Tobin Bell can be returning every damn sequel. But I wouldn't mind. Me personally, I wouldn't mind. I'm gonna do a ranking on your channel. You know what? Pornstar, that'll be dope. I definitely would love to see that, especially since the Saw franchise is all over the place. I know it must be wild, man. It must be like it must be confusion. It must be confusing. But I would love to see that, Pornstar. I'll be looking out for that. Yeah, man. I gotta do that as well. I rewatched them like last year. I rewatched them last year when Saw X came out. Yeah. I got my list straight. I got my list. I might do that too soon. But Yeah, man, the Saw series is a trip. No matter how long after you watch them, they're a trip, dude. Believe me. All their movies 2 hours. Yeah, yeah, man, for sure. You know what? After Saw 3, it went downhill. Uh, as shitty as 3D is, dude, I could still kind of watch that. To be honest, 3D is like the worst one, the final chapter, but I could still somewhat watch it. Just because I enjoy the shittiness. I enjoy the 2010ness. You know, I don't know. It's because they had hella corny acting in it. Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, you could tell by the sequels. They just were getting whoever. You know, like they didn't like. I know in the first one they had like, you know, they had Danny Glover in it. We had you know, faces we were familiar with. But once it got to the sequels, man, of course they couldn't bring Lee Winnell back. They couldn't bring, you know, all these other characters back. But yeah, I do agree with that. I think the acting has to do a lot with it. And like I said, man, I feel like it has. I think this fits with a lot of franchises. The more sequels they go, the more they focus on how bloodier it is. Saw is a perfect example. Like with the sequels, all they cared about is how to make it more bloodier, how to make a trap more gorier, more bloody. Right? What's the worst way to kill a person? Right? But I think that's the point. Same thing with Terrifier. You know, I think after the first and second one, like all they're focusing on is the goreness of it. You know, because like I said, I'm pretty sure in the 2000s, that's why people were going to see Saw, not to see Tobin Bell flashbacks, not to see, you know, the evolution of the story, but to see how bloody and gory the traps could get. And like I said, Terrifier is the same thing for me, if you ask me. I still want to see it, no lie. Yeah, man, me too. I wouldn't mind a Saw 11. Even though, like I said, I heard it's been getting delayed, but I'm not too sure on it. Yo, Chippy, yo, what's up, man? Yo, yo. What up, man? What up? Just here chilling, man. We're talking about Scream 7, man. I personally think, man, like it's really not surprising, man. Like it like I said, like I feel like they're just bringing returning characters because they're trying to, you could say, please us, which is good. They're trying to please us. They're trying to keep us happy. But like I said, man, I just think Roman Bridger, Stu Macher, if they're in this movie some way, somehow, it's either going to make it or break it. But I hope they're flashbacks, Chippy. I really hope they're flashbacks. I know we talked about it a little bit. I really hope they're flashbacks, dude. Because like I said, there's those fans that Stu Macher's been dead all this time, right? But they could change timeline. They could, you know, he could end up alive. And like I said, there's also those fans that are like hardcore Stu Macher fans that are dying to see him return, you know? But like I said, if he returns, it's either going to make it or break it. To me, it's going to be kind of strange because to me personally, he's been dead. Even though, like I said, since Scream 5, it's been teased. His name has always been in the mix, in the works. So it's really not surprising. Like I remember rumors that he was gonna show up in Scream 6. You know, and but yeah, that's what I think. My personal opinion overall, like you know, my whole point is either he's returning in a flashback, which I hope it is, or he's gonna be the mastermind of all the killings from 5 and 6. Like I said, I still feel the killers from Scream 6 are somewhat related to Stu Macher. Personally, if you ask me. It's either or. That's how I think. He's gonna show up out of a bush, he's gonna show up out of a blue. Oh, he's a killer. This whole reveal, right? And or he's just in there with Roman Bridger for a flashback, which I hope it is, man. Like I said, when people say flashback, I'm thinking of like Skeet Ulrich return in Scream 5 and 6. He was just there for like as a ghost, as a flashback. I hope that's the case, but like I said, you still gotta think about it. Like, Are we gonna get that again? Like, like with Skeet Ulrich, like he's the OG, right? But you know, but still, man, like you can't really play it out. You can't. You got. I feel like they gotta have it under control, under a certain estimate. You know. Oh my God, man. Oh shit, Jordan Peele, man. Oof. I pray for you. I pray for you, porn star. I really pray for you, man. It's crazy. I gotta rewatch him too. It's been a while, but I remember not being a big fan of him. Yeah, Chippy, it is Scream 7, dude. It's like I said, I feel like all this shit is coming up now since they started filming. They started production about a week or two ago. Now it's getting good, which is cool because, like I said, we're getting closer to that deadline. Everything beforehand was nothing but speculation and stuff like that. It's funny because for Scream 3, he was supposed to. Chippy, are you talking about Stu Macher? Really? Was that like the original intent or Roman Bridger? Um, yeah, man. Like I said earlier, Scream 2, Scream 3. I really those are films that I gotta like rewatch. I don't have them like memorized. You know, I have Scream 1, Scream 4 memorized, but Scream 2 and 3, I always gotta rewatch them. But Get Out put me to sleep. Yeah, man. Yeah, Get Out. It was okay for its time, dude. But I don't think because I really don't hear people talking about Get Out. Like I remember at the time, when did it come out? Like 10 years ago, right? Like 2015 or something like that. I remember this was like the next level horror movie, right? And like I said, it was cool for its time. I remember I saw that in theaters. Get Out. I thought it was solid, but I ended up rewatching it like a few times on TV. Like if it was really, if it really had that impact, that appraisal, it was people will still talk about it. I really don't hear people talking about it. Like the hype was really big behind a lot of those Jordan Peele movies when they came out. Look at that movie Nope. That movie was everywhere before it came out. Nowadays you don't hear no one talking about it, you know? But yeah, I've never been a huge fan of the Jordan Peele movies. Stu, I did not know that, Chippy. I did not know they originally intended for Stu to be the mastermind. Like I said, man, you never know. Like Scream 5 and 6 were repetitive if you really look at it. Scream 5 was repetitive with the original. Scream 2 was Scream 7 was repetitive to the second Scream. You know, they had like 2-3 killers in there. So you never know. Maybe with Scream 7 they might go to their original plans. I always thought this though. I guess Roman was like the whole big deal, right? Of Scream 3, they revealed it, right? So I feel like it might mimic that. It might mock that. They might try to do the same shit they did in Scream 3. Stu Macher might be the mastermind behind the previous two. That's what I think, guys. That's what I've been thinking since like Scream 6, dude. I've been thinking Stu Macher's behind the whole shit. Me personally. But we're gonna have to see what happens, man. Getting weird ass voicemails, crazy. but um, but yeah, man, it's crazy. They was overhyping the shit out of the movie, saying it was good at the Shining. Oh, yeah, man, I remember that. I remember that. I hate when they compare it to classics. Every freaking possession movie they compare the scariest movie since The Exorcist, this and that. That's when I know not to go watch your movie. That literally, that's when I know not to go watch it, not to spend my money on it. When you put it up in the caliber of those classics, that's when I know not to go, not even to mess with your movie. Um, but yeah, man. I mean, I think that's gonna be pretty much it. I've been on here for a while now, an hour and 20. I want to appreciate you guys, man, tuning in, hanging out with me for a while. Just decided to go here real quick, talk about this whole Scream 7 stuff. Like I said, it's been a while since I've been trying to talk about Scream 7. But now that we're getting into production, early stages of it, we're getting more confirmation. So now we're talking facts. Now we're not talking speculation or none of that. So it's cool. I mean, maybe next time we get like a major Scream 7 update, I'll do it. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this whole Stu Macher stuff because it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I open up Instagram, I open up YouTube. Everyone's going live. Everyone's, talking about it, throwing their 2 cents, and it's cool, man. Like, that's the whole point. If you more power to you. Like I pray for you. If you want Stu Macher to return to be the killer, I pray for you, man. I hope that's the case, so you could be satisfied. But we also got the other end of the caliber, man, where he's just dead, And like I said, Scream 7's not necessarily a whole new timeline, but it's a whole new direction they're going with. It's not the original Scream 7 intended, without our main stars. I feel maybe even if we had Melissa and Jenna in here, they could possibly still have Stu Macher in the mix, for sure. But now, now it feels like they're depending on the legacy characters. They're depending on them, hoping they're able to save the franchise or whatever. But like I said, man, with this third film, Scream 7, I hope they don't save the franchise. I hope they end it. I hope they wrap it up, because it's time, man. I think it's time, especially with Neve Campbell. We love Sidney Prescott. We love Gale Weathers. But I think it's time. But yeah, man, that's going to be pretty much it. Shout out to all of you guys who tuned in, man. Pornstar JR, Chippy, Jigsaw Rules. Shout out to all of you guys, man. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I really don't go as live as I used to, man. But I'm really going to try my best. I just did a video. I've been getting some new stuff. So stay tuned for unboxings or reviews. Can't wait to show you guys. The latest one was like the little mini animatronic. I wish I could show you. I have it over there. And a collection update, man. I know, I think Brandon loves horror. Still loves horror. His new username. Shout out to you, man, as well, man. He did mention it to me yesterday when we did, when I did the Chucky review about a collection update. Yeah, man, that's been in the works for a while now. Since like a year, probably more than a year, dude. I really want to make this collection update stand out than the previous one. It's been years since I've done one. So this new collection update is for sure gonna be good. It's gonna be worth the wait. So definitely hang on tight there, you guys. Stay tuned for more videos. Hopefully I do some new movie reviews. I want to take a look at some of these latest films I've watched. Night of the Demons. I might review that series in the near future. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. If you guys see this after the replay, drop your comments. Let me know what you guys think about Stu Macher, Matthew Lillard. Do you want to see him return? Or do you think it's a dumb idea? Do you think it will save it? Or do you wish it's a flashback? I wish it's a flashback. And that's it, But, yeah, man, shout out to all of you guys. Yeah, hope you guys have a great weekend as well, man. YouTube Pornstar, appreciate you. I'm going to go live soon as I can, man, as soon as I get the chance. I've been busy, work and stuff like that. Hopefully we get some more lives cracking for you guys. So hope you guys have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your weekend. You guys stay safe out there. Peace out. It's the Michael Myers signing out.